Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way possible, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. Now, with that being said, I don't want to waste your guys' time too much, but I will say this: Bitcoin is, seeing a little bit of a drop in price. Of course, we are still at resistance points. The indices do look a little weak. This is exactly why I called for concern on a lot of, this entire market. When we talk about, watching the indices, that is a big concerning area to watch, especially if we are talking about cryptocurrency prices as well. Now, today we're going to be talking about XRP and some price targets for XRP. We're going to be talking about how we get there. I've done videos like this in the past, but I believe that I found some very interesting information here, and I'm also going to be connecting a lot of dots. So let's just dive in and let's talk about this. So first off, here's a tweet from 2017. This is how a higher price for XRP would actually benefit Ripple in several ways. So first off, obviously, the main one is that Ripple can benefit greatly from selling XRP at a higher price point. Also, we do see, it is a greater ability to incentivize partners and liquidity. Also, the increased price for XRP does provide more liquidity and trade volume. So again, the more value that is here behind XRP, the greater basically the efficiencies will be as well. And we also see here it is also important that it is not terribly expensive to hold XRP. A higher price will mean that it is similarly sized sell will produce less volatility. So a higher price could mean a lower cost to hold XRP. So long as XRP's general price direction is up, the volatility can be hedged without much difficulty. So basically what they're talking about is XRP's price continuing to go up as individuals are selling it, and the price actually isn't going down. We actually see here when Bitcoin sold for $1, you couldn't really use them to buy or sell a house. You can now. Bigger transactions require bigger value. The higher the price of XRP, the larger the payments Ripple can target. And this is exactly what I've been talking to you guys about. If Ripple's trying to go after these main players, XRP's value needs to be much, much higher. Okay, it can't be 76.5 cents. It can't be $1, right? It can't be anywhere around this point, especially even $10, right? And here we have a Reddit post. This goes back 5 years ago. Mathematically speaking, what is the highest price Ripple could potentially get to? We're seeing here, this goes back 5 years, by the way. So due to a large supply of coins and supply rate of adoption, do you think Ripple has the potential to surpass $1 in the near future? This is, of course, before all-time highs. And we do see here, this comes from David Schwartz, as you guys do see. It all depends on how big you want to dream. What if Ripple captures Bitcoin's current market share? It was $2 at that point, by the way. In terms of Bitcoin's market share, we're at about $17.19. It's crazy how fast the world moves. What if Ripple captures the value of all high-friction international payments that are now occurring? $20. You could also add a multiplier to this for additional demand from people holding XRP to make or facilitate the payments in the future. What if Ripple captures the value of an increasing volume of international payments driven by the reduction in friction, maybe $120? Same point as above. You could justify a multiplier to this. What if the economy triples in size, the volume of international payments increases, Ripple captures all of that, and people also use Ripple for all kinds of other things because it either displaces Bitcoin or equals in size a Bitcoin that's many times its current size. And we also expand the economy to our planets that also use XRP. And as for how likely these scenarios are, though, who can say? Ripple equaling, Bitcoin's current market cap sometime in the near future doesn't seem any more outrageous to me now than the idea of Bitcoin selling for over $1,000 seemed to me in 2012. Now, this is exactly what we are talking about, right? Now, of course, some of this is a little bit jokes, if you will, talking more so about how much could you dream into this, but it's also the idea on it is not that outrageous at all for XRP to hit, Bitcoin's market cap. I mean, even if you're talking about, XRP going to, we'll just say like $1,000, right? So everybody always, looks at this $1,000 price target and they almost are shaking. They're saying $47.9 trillion. Absolutely no way is it going there. But this is the thing, okay? If we are talking about the statistical wise of XRP being the, reserve currency, if you will, or maybe it's just a settlement token for Ripple, okay? on RippleNet for on-demand liquidity, line of credit, things like that. XRP's true value would have to be perceived as much greater than $100, if you will. The amount of liquidity that they are trying to provide is just, it's nowhere close to the price that we have XRP at now. That's exactly what we are seeing even here, right? XRP's price has to be much, much more than $1, if you will. And it's also the idea that when we are talking about the larger clients that they are going after, we look at the Tranglo stuff from the other day, right? This goes back to, the 3rd. This goes back to January 3rd, actually, I should say. The company has enabled Ripple's on-demand liquidity service across its different payment corridors. There's been a lot of updates within this. Of course, a lot of things have unfolded with Tranglo, but I want you to know that this is just one major player that is setting up their corridors. Also, this was March 1st. I made a mistake by saying January 3rd. I was just looking at the first date there. So, but when we are talking about this, this is huge. But this is not the only thing that they are trying to do here. In fact, this is not the only company that they have a large stake in, or maybe they have a large partnership with. We've talked about large partnerships in the past, especially for on-demand liquidity services. For example, SBI is definitely one of the main players. But let's talk about Finastra real quick, right? So I've talked to you guys about Finastra many times in the past. This goes back to 2019. London-based Finastra has partnered with Ripple to grant its customers access to the RippleNet blockchain network, the 3rd largest firm, by the way. And we do see, down here, as reported by the FinTech Times on October 16th, the cooperation between the two firms will see Ripple's over 200 existing clients reciprocally, access Finastra's extensive banking network, which includes 48 out of the top 50 banks globally. Okay, now this is talking about cross-border payments and stuff like that. Of course, they're utilizing XRP's powered on-demand liquidity service as well. They have the option to, which again, offers a 3-second settlement time for international payments. This is exactly why we're going after some large players here. Funny thing about Finastra, though, is that they have continued to grow in numbers. Same with Ripple. I mean, Finastra, at a glance, 90 out of the top 100 banks, all right, 8.6 thousand customers. They're absolutely killing it. All of these partnerships, all of these major innovations, if you will, all led us back to this. On-demand liquidity sees, a record growth and traction in 2021. I believe that this is going to continue to grow like this. But the thing that we need to continue to look at is if we are seeing on-demand liquidity services ramping up, and if we are seeing XRP, taking charge, which, by the way, yes, XRP has taken charge. They settled 25% of these payments with XRP. Don't know if it's in this article, but we did see that statistic. If you guys want to look it up, you guys are more than welcome to. I've done the research. Trust me, I know it's true. We actually see here, on-demand liquidity transactions in Q3 accounted for 25% of the total dollar volume across the network. This would basically be through XRP. So they have done incredibly well with XRP's growth as well. And if we are talking about this continuing like this, I see a lot more growth happening for Ripple, of course, with RippleNet products. Now, the thing about this is that we are also marching into an entirely new system. We go back to February 14th, open banking on the rise in North America. I actually just talked to you guys about open banking and why API gateways and things like that are going to broaden the horizon for these major banks to get in on this space. But we do see here this has driven financial institutions to either find new revenue streams or new cost-saving measures, and the emerging open banking landscape with its burgeoning crypto innovation has the opportunity to provide solutions to both. Now, in this article, they're talking about 14,000 plus financial institutions, but we do see a primer on open banking, broaden revenue streams through the new API-enabled products, improved customer personalization and satisfaction via increased touch points, strengthen relevance for financial institutions by diversifying their client offerings. This is that open banking that I just talked to you guys about with Quant yesterday, I believe, where we were talking about one API gateway could connect thousands of banking branches to one major network. This is happening right now. The reason why I bring this up, okay, is because I actually want to connect the dots with open banking and Quant with XRP. All of this goes hand in hand with money driving over these major networks, which will, of course, result in major value for the token price as well. Like, for example, XRP's token price, it's going to be, we don't know exactly where it's going to go in terms of the dollar figure amount per XRP. All I know is that $47.9 trillion is not that much when you're looking at the cross-border payment market, and it's $156 trillion. Then you look at other things. The other leading factors here is as simple as this, message from Joel Katz. $20 if we, capture the value of all high-friction international payments. Then $120, somewhere around that point, if we are, capturing the volume of the international payments driven by the reduction in friction. Not only that, but you also have to add in multipliers because of individuals holding. And if we do get to $120, are people calling me crazy because $5.8 trillion in market cap? I mean, honestly, if you are, it's crazy to say the least that you don't understand this technology at all. But let's go back in time a little bit to April 2021. SBI outlined strategy to create digital asset bank. Now, SBI is working with 6 Digital Exchange for this. 6 Digital Exchange directly connected back to Quant. We actually hear Mr. Cateo stated that for digital assets, we'd like to ensure that we develop this new area and become the dominant #1 in creating an ecosystem. Many of its major activities have already been announced, but he added some details. Now, again, here is creating a global secondary market for security tokens is a large part of the strategy, and 4 pillars have already been outlined. These include a joint venture with the 6 Digital Exchange in Singapore, which is expected to go into production in 2021. SBI is developing the Osaka Digital Exchange. I'm hoping that I'm saying that right, with SMBC. All of this is talking about tokenization. I mean, this is tokenization in a massive way. This is basically going to be the future of digital assets as well. If you're talking about these major players getting in on the space and focusing on one major aspect, and that is tokenization. Everything that we talk about, cross-border payments and stuff like that, is all going to be tokenized. It's going to be a digital way of transacting. This is going to be a digital asset bank. And we actually see here SBI also stated it would be investing in other segments related to digital assets, including DeFi, non-fungible tokens, and CBDCs. While much of the action in DeFi is on Ethereum, given Ethereum's high gas fees, it seems SBI will also be looking elsewhere, especially at DeFi on the Polkadot network. Now, I do think that SBI definitely understands the value behind Ripple, of course, because SBI is a main player with Ripple. But all of this is going to get very, very interesting. I mean, honestly, when we're talking about tokenization, digital asset banks are going to continue to grow in popularity, if you will, as we do kind of march forward on in terms of crypto innovation. Now, again, like I said, 6 Digital Exchange. Let's tie everything back. So here we have, again, this goes back to May 10th. Following on from the success of the April release, today we launched the full release of Overledger 2.0, providing interoperability to Ethereum, XRP, and Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Quant has been working with Ripple for a very long time. I don't need to tell you guys that. I'm sure that you have already known about this. They are building bridges between these major networks, of course, XRP being a major one for them. But we also see, going back to December 8th, 2021, I know that this was April. Here we have, again, December 8th. SBI announces a crypto joint venture with Swiss Digital Exchange 6. The crypto venture is expected to formalize its operation by the end of 2021 and start offering its services by early 2022. The important step in building the necessary global infrastructure for widespread institutional adoption of digital assets, together with SDX's strength in Switzerland and our planned digital exchange in Osaka. This venture will establish a powerful institutional corridor between Europe and Asia. And I want you guys to understand, who do you think is going to be the main player behind this corridor? I mean, SBI already has on-demand liquidity corridors set up with Ripple. And I'm just telling you guys right now, pay attention to the direct connections here, because this is going to be, I mean, look at the joint venture would be set up in Singapore through a crypto issuance company and aims to become a regional liquidity hub for institutions, institutional money. This is big players, guys. I want you to realize the amount of volume that will flow over something like this. We're seeing here, the new undertaking will offer a range of digital asset products and services in the form of tokenized securities such as digital bonds, digital equities, and digital securitized loans. This is absolutely huge. Okay, the partnership between SBI and 6 banks on growing crypto demand in the Asia-Pacific region will cater its services to regulated institutions. The venture is expected to formalize its operations by the end of 2021 and start offering its services by early 2022, following regulatory clearance from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. All of this is a direct connection back to Ripple because we know that SBI plays a key role in a lot of the on-demand liquidity corridors. This is mentioned directly that there will be corridors set up, and we still need something to facilitate these payments and, of course, be the tokenization bridge for this. And of course, talking about 6 digital exchange, we do see this from February 3rd. Bridges to the future, digital assets, the need to understand competitive dynamics in complex environments to maximize commercial outcome. And if you guys don't know about, SDX or, 6 digital exchange, if you will, they are doing incredible things. But also, they're doing incredible things with Quant and Ripple by their side. Sorry, we do see here later today on the 24th of February, and I mentioned this, meeting a while back. But we do see here, this is with Accenture, Ripple, SDX Global, Digital Pound Foundation, and RTGS Global for a webinar about digital money, global markets, and the coming revolution in cross-border settlement. All of this is directly connected. I want everyone to realize the major connections that are being put in place. I mean, a lot of individuals can't see. They can't understand the true value behind things like this. But if you look at the things that have been unfolding, interoperability is a huge key aspect. We look at Quant as the interoperable bridge. I'm actually going to be doing a video on Q&T later today, but when we are talking about all of the direct connections here, this leads me back to one thing, and that is, of course, tokenization, cross-border payments, and even when we're talking about line of credit for SMEs and stuff like that, like Ripple is absolutely killing the game in that sense, but all of this is trillion-dollar use cases, and we're not talking about $1 trillion, $10 trillion. No, this is like $100 trillion plus, okay? And Ripple has massive names under its belt. Okay, in fact, Ripple has access to 90 out of the top 100 banks through Finastra alone. Okay, through Finastra itself, they are already connected to major banks. All right, but they're already connected through major banks already, and even Tranglo is providing them with a ton of on-demand liquidity, volume as well. I mean, all of these major partnerships all align perfectly with what Ripple is trying to do. SBI is also a company that I think that everyone should be continuing to look at because they have been, they've been a success driver for Ripple. But they have been absolutely killing it. And this is exactly why when we look at XRP, okay, it does not take a lot of money to move XRP's value if you are looking at their partnerships, right? We are looking at like 1% of market share value for, a lot of the markets that XRP is going after. All right, I'm just telling you right now, if we get 10%, okay, 10% of the cross-border payment market, you're looking at like $15 trillion. In fact, you're looking at exactly $15.6 trillion in market share value. That's just off of cross-border payments. Okay, that would push us to $325. Okay, but now factor in all of the other leading factors behind XRP's true value. For example, Ripple is trying to build RippleNet into a massive giant in terms of a payment network. They want to be better than Swift. They want to offer a more efficient Swift. Okay, they see the inefficiencies right now in this massive financial system that has been absolutely terrible for many individuals around the world to utilize. Okay, not talking about remittances being absolutely expensive for individuals that can barely afford to actually send their money to their family, if you will, but it's also inefficient for these major players out there like institutions, banking clients, things like that. Like those individuals want to save money. Those individuals are looking at the fees and it hurts them. This is why Ripple is continuing to thrive, okay? And it's truly clearing up, right? The picture is clearing up. We can now see it ever so clearly while things are happening with the Swift network in terms of, banks being blocked out of Swift. We're seeing a lot of problems arising in, liquidity crisis and stuff like that. This is all leading me back to one major name, and that is Ripple. Okay, and specifically on-demand liquidity. I want you all, if you haven't done your research on on-demand liquidity, take a little bit of time out, on one of these days and look into their on-demand liquidity use case because this is such a massive driver of success as well for Ripple. And there's a ton of, customers already utilizing this on the RippleNet. And honestly, I think that when we're talking about XRP and we're talking about Ripple, the plan is ever so clear. They want to get as many banks, as many customers as they possibly can onto this massive network, and they want to capture very, very large value payments. Okay, and we see that even here, right? Or not here. It was actually over here. They want to go after these large-sized, payments, but they can't. Okay, and the only reason why they can't is because the liquidity isn't there. This is why Ripple wants XRP to succeed, not in a way that, hey, let's sell XRP and let's make our money and kind of rug pull them. That's not it. All right. They want to target those larger corridor areas. They want to do that. This is why they need more liquidity. This is why XRP at the end of the day needs to be a lot higher in terms of its price, no matter the market cap. Everyone wants to always complain about market cap. It can't get to this price because of market cap. Market cap is not the dollar figure amount being invested into an asset. It's only the asset's price times its circulating supply. And I don't think a lot of individuals realize that. And it's kind of sad because we have been in crypto for so long and individuals are still so oblivious to that. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.